Um,
Hello,
so,
everyone. Oh, sorry, Dror. I'll just, we got an intro lined up for you and everything. Thank you so much.
Okay.
So, hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Veg Networking Canada, where vegan, plant-based companies connect and collaborate. We're going to start, as we always do, with our land acknowledgement. We acknowledge, honor, and respect that much of the land we are gathered on is part of traditional unceded territories of many different Indigenous peoples of Canada. All right, everybody, again, Veg Networking Canada, where vegan plant-based companies connect and collaborate. We have a very special guest today. He is a pioneer in the industry, and we don't say that lightly. Going back to 1997, with a merger happening in 2002 with a tofu co-op manufacturer who started in 1980. Their soybeans, Seoul Cuisine soybeans, are sourced about 134 miles from their facility. And to boot, I didn't know this, we didn't know this, Canadian soybeans are said to be superior for human consumption versus soybeans grown in the US, which are designed for oils and animal feed. The company is publicly traded on the TSX Venture Exchange under the ticker VEG, V-E-G, VEG. Learn more about hashtag Mission NA, Mission North America, on Seoul Cuisine's website, where you'll see our special guest sharing food with 6 Alberta families in their homes. Veg Networking Canada is pleased to welcome our special guest and hashtag soulmate, President and founder of Seoul Cuisine, Inc. Welcome, Dror Balshine.
thanks. Thank you very much for having me here. Great to be here. Basically, we started back in the mid-90s, focused on food service, quickly evolved into retail, and quite the different scene back then. There were a few companies in the US. Garden Burger was one. In Canada, it was Eve's Veggie Cuisine, but it wasn't really a robust, developed market like it is today. Today, the plant-based world is completely different, and we were very lucky and fortunate at the time. As the market evolved, we were able to grow with that market. And, we've always been focused on the quality of our food, and that's been our driving factor. So we always say that we're culinary inspired. We're agnostic to the type of protein as long as it's plant-based. Some companies are out there focused only on pea, or some companies really just want to mimic meat. And that's not our belief structure here. Our belief structure is great tasting products. Seoul originally standard for sustainable, organic, and local. And now we're doing a little bit less on the organic side, a little bit less on the local side, because of our size. As we've grown, it's harder to source as much local and as much organic, and the price of organic is also more difficult. But so we are still sustainable, and we do use organic ingredients, and we buy local when possible. And we're offering a lot of meal solutions. So we're offering great tasting products to consumers. So the motivation was to make great tasting products, really because I was looking for great tasting products. So a little bit of a selfish attribute. And just last night, my son played a hockey game, and afterwards everyone wanted to go for wings, and we're now supplying wings at St. Louis. And so we went, and I was able to go and have vegan wings at St. Louis, and that. So I'm still doing it for selfish reasons, but I love sharing it with everybody else.
Yeah, wow. It's like a music artist hearing their song in the radio, going to a place and being able to get your product, I'm sure, is kind of similar. So can you tell us a little bit more then about your personal vegan plant-based origin story? Like, when did that start and how?
I've always loved animals, and it just made a lot of sense to me not to be consuming them. It was really an animal welfare vision, and it started really for me, again in the mid-90s. I think I was living in England at the time. You had mad cow kind of, in the news. It just, when you looked around, it just seemed like an obvious way to obvious lifestyle. I don't think I jumped right into vegan. It was like most people, it's a transition. you start off and you start, cutting down on animal proteins, finding products that satisfy you. I was never very much into dairy. I didn't like dairy, so the dairy wasn't a big issue. And there have been such great dairy alternatives for a long time. It was harder with some of the animal protein products, going out for a burger with friends, or some more of the social elements around food. I think we all know that food's emotional. Family events around there. I still have my mother after 25 years. She says to me, eat some fish, live a little. Like it's, so it's, we have that, but it's all a question of what you choose. So my journey was really around it, animal welfare, and it's really evolved. And the two largest issues that our society faces from a health perspective are cancer and heart disease. And all the research shows that eating a plant-based diet is very beneficial for both those elements. So I have some heart disease in my family, so I'm really pleased that I from a health perspective, and I like food, so I like to eat a lot. So it's good for me to at least cut out some of the saturated fats that way. And today, with at the time when I started, global warming or climate change wasn't in the news every day like it is today, and we all know the impact of a plant-based diet, the positive impact of a plant-based diet on climate initiatives. The UN saying it's the number one thing we can do. So there's a lot of more reasons. So when you make a decision for something, and then all these other things come along the way to reinforce it, people ask me today, why are you vegan? And I just turn to them and say, why aren't you? So it just, I don't need to preach to the choir here. I mean, everybody on this call is obviously in alignment with that, but it's, that's been my journey, and it's sort of nice to have it so reinforced.
You're
I
right.
I was in plant-based before plant-based was cool.
Yes, exactly. That's what we're talking about. A true pioneer. Absolutely. And bless your mother's heart. She sounds lovely and amazing. I think we all have that parent. Oh, there's just a little bit of eggs in the cake. You can eat it, right? That kind of stuff. So that's funny. Okay. So thank you for starting off the top, sharing more about the company and everything like that. Is Soul Cuisine your entrepreneurial spark and where your story started? Or was there a previous venture, or how did that come about for you?
I think I've always been interested in business, and I've always been interested in food. So it was a combination of both. From the age of 11, I had a paper route, and by the time I was 13, I was like a district, manager, and I ran a business in university. Before Costco, we were delivering paper towels and toilet paper and plastic wrap in bulk to people's homes, knocking on doors. I started a business in university doing that, and so it's always been in my DNA. But this has really been my life work. It's now 25 years. We're all going to at one point look back at our careers and sort of say, what was the main. I'm not a person that's changed jobs every few years, so it's been my life work now. So, does that answer the question?
Absolutely. You caught the entrepreneurial bug at age 11, like a true entrepreneur. Again, an entrepreneur before entrepreneurship was cool. In terms of Soul Cuisine and what you guys are doing, what are some trends that you've picked up on or are picking up on in the industry?
Yeah, good question. Well, clearly, clearly plant-based is hot, and we've seen a transition where plant-based milk has really penetrated household at a level. I think it's at about 14% of households that now are regular consumers of plant-based milks. And our impression is that the plant-based protein meats are going to follow suit. So we're seeing about a 19 to 20% growth year over year. So it's a big trend. We were focused mostly on burgers for a long time. We still have the #1 frozen veggie burger in Canada. We're really good distribution. We're at about 40% of all stores with it. But we're seeing now the growth in other items. We've just launched a lineup of vegan wings, which I talked about the St. Louis a moment ago, and we now have 3 wings. We have a buffalo cauliflower wing, we have a sweet chili cauliflower, and we have our hot and spicy wing. We're seeing a lot of value-added items, appetizers. People are trying to incorporate it in other areas, and that's why the word solution for us means a lot, because people are looking for alternatives. I would say people are looking for healthy, convenient, and tasty products, and so those are our goals. But trends are, I just think the quality of the products that are being made are exceptional today, and I think honestly, in many cases, better than the animal protein, options. And not that I'm trying them, but like I'm sampling people all the time, and people are saying I don't need to eat meat. I was with friends last night after a game, and one of them said, I'm going to come back next time and just order the plant-based wings and see how I feel compared to how I feel on the chicken wings, because I don't feel so great right now. I'm just eating chicken wings and French fries, and I don't feel good. So I'm going to try this next time and see how I feel. So, and I think the trends are more acceptance. There's a lot of larger companies entering this area. You see like Nestle, and Kellogg's has been in it for a long time, but like Kraft, like all the big companies are very heavily investing in plant-based. And I just see that continuing, and the grocers too are very interested. So you're seeing larger areas in the stores being granted to plant-based foods.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing those trends in your industry. And it dovetails into our next question, which is a really exciting one, because we always like to know where people are going. So with your brand and in the team, where is Seoul Cuisine going in the future?
Yeah, so we're first of all, we're trying to get into more than 40%. We're trying to have all our products in more stores. So we're really trying to get closer to the consumer. We're focusing on that. You spoke about our mission North America. Our goal is to try and get our products into more people's mouths, because we think we taste better than the competition. And so we really want to shout from the mountaintops, let people know about Seoul Cuisine, meet people in their homes, and try and get us onto the tables. We just recently passed Thanksgiving, and we do a plant-based turkey roast, and it was so rewarding to see all the comments on social media. Like, we were at people's celebrations, we are at people's family dinner tables. We are providing people nutritious foods when they're hungry, and it's a real special thing. So we want to continue that. And what's critical is for us is to be in more stores, more locations. We just entered a partnership with Walmart. We're doing stuff with Costco. So we're just getting into more and more retail locations. We want to be closer to consumers. And as well, we're working on some new platforms, which I can't discuss yet, but we're working on some. We have a whole group of innovation. We have about 5 people involved on our innovation team, and we're always looking to launch new items, new concepts, and new products. I think we've been successful in the past, and as people come in, and we have to stay ahead of the curve. So that's really important for us. We're culinary and research in our DNA here at Seoul.
All right. So basically, global domination is the goal where you guys are going. There's over. You're already at 11,000 retailers. So just continuing to add to that, I believe, is where you guys are headed. Absolutely amazing.
Just to be realistic, we really want to. We're focused on Canada.
Okay.
We are selling in, like, we're in Costco in Mexico now. We're in like a few places, but Canada is our home base, and we really want to be stronger here locally, and we're putting our energy towards that.
Deep root spread within Canada. Got it. Amazing. No right or wrong answers. Maybe it's something here. Maybe it's something that in the plans. Does Seoul Cuisine support any charitable organizations?
Yeah, so what we do a few things, but mostly what we do is around food and food security. So we're donating a lot of food to Harvest Food Banks and the Mississauga Food Bank. So we're donating a lot of food is what we're about, feeding people good product. And as we launch new items and do plant trials, we're spending a lot of time and effort in making items that sometimes they're not being launched yet, or they're just in bulk, and we do a lot of donations around food.
That's incredible because, and I hate to sound crass, but like beggars can't be choosers kind of thing like that. And we see so many people giving back and giving food to those less fortunate. And as we all know, based on the data, that food, could be causing illness and death and stuff like that. So you guys are really solving two problems when you're giving back and doing it that way. So really, really admirable work. I always say it. I could not ever imagine waking up and not knowing where my next meal is coming from. So incredible work. It looks like I'm freezing a little bit. Can you guys still hear me though?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. All right, Dror, our next question is, do you have a book, podcast, or app that you would recommend entrepreneurs and business owners have a read or a listen to?
Yeah, so I'm reading a book right now called Legacy. The author's name is Kerr. He was the captain of the All Blacks, the New Zealand rugby team, and he talks about improving 1 inch at a time, getting better every day. I'm also listening to The 7 Habits again. I've read the book. I'm just reading to it. I'm listening to it right now. I took it out of the library and listening to that. I'm also I do listen to a lot of podcasts. I follow Mike Fata. I don't know if anybody's met or heard of Mike Fata, but he founded Manitoba Harvest, and he's our chairman of our board, and he does a podcast every Tuesday night on Clubhouse called Founders Helping Founders, which I try and attend as much as I can. I've been a guest on it, and I've also attended that. And then I try and keep up with news, and I like the longer form. And I do a podcast. I listen to the Daily, the New York Times. A little bit too, it's very U.S. focused, but they do cover a lot of very interesting topics in a good, in-depth, and professional way. And I think their journalists are the greatest. So yeah, I'm listening and reading a lot right now. I'm also reading the book Harari's the author about it's evolution of humans. Homo Deus, I think is the name, and he's writing about the history of humans, and it's fascinating. So yeah. Wow. I read a lot. I have a lot of books going at the same time, but I have attention deficit disorder, so I need to be moving between things all the time. Yeah. Understood.
And I think a lot of entrepreneurs have that as well. Like I think it's part of their DNA. So yeah, incredible. Yeah, you're right. And Fata again, sort of like a pioneer in the industry and what they're doing from a leadership mentorship standpoint. Your first recommendation about the All Blacks, that sounds really interesting because their team culture is incredible in the rugby world.
They've won 86% of their matches in sport. Like, yeah.
Remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. It is. Yeah. All right. So second to last question for you, and that is, it could be a local company, it could be a global conglomerate, doesn't matter, anywhere in between. But what are some companies that inspire you and your team at Seoul Cuisine?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's not necessarily about inspiring, but it's about for me, the inspiration is more about if I purchase their products, if I believe in their products. So I really like Patagonia on the clothing side. I do. I was been following them and buying their products for a long time, and they walk the walk and talk the talk, and it's really an impressive business. In general, I'm just really impressed with entrepreneurs. I like meeting people that start their own business, and I find that that's inspiring. Someone who can, follow their passion. And I love, talking to entrepreneurs and learning from them. And I like that kind of smaller element. I'm inspired by all these people who have created for themselves careers and created for themselves companies, and I find that inspiring. And you may be frozen, Justin.
Yeah, can you hear me, folks?
We can hear you, but you're definitely frozen.
Okay, my computer looks like it's starting to give me troubles here. Let me jump into the last question. It's always prefaced saying this is not the test in any way, shape, or form. So for those of us here and those who are going to be listening to this on the replay, whether they're just starting in the middle of their career or looking at an exit, what is some advice you have for entrepreneurs?
I think effort makes for luck, and you need some luck in business to be successful. So I really think effort's really important. That being said, I think there are things that you can do to make yourself successful. And I don't always do them all myself, but it's about sleeping well, being fit, thinking a lot about what you're doing, try not to waste too much time, and listen. God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth, so try and listen more than we speak. Sometimes that's hard to do, and be empathetic to people around you. Listen to what their needs are, especially if people that work with you and for you, and I think that's really important. So be a great listener, and also take care of yourself so you're in a good position to win.
Thank you so much, Dror. Self-care, you cannot pour from an empty cup, so make sure your cup is full first. And you're absolutely right. 2 ears, 1 mouth, that's the way that we were made. So thank you for giving all of our ears amazing information today. We're so happy and thrilled that you were able to carve out some time for us all the way from where you are in Ontario. Thank you so much. So for everybody listening who wants to know more and maybe even watch that interesting video that I talked about at the top where Dror meets Albertans inside their homes, you can check out more online, www.soulcuisine.com. That is SOL cuisine.com. And the same is true. You're going to drool, so don't check it out if you're hungry and can't have access to food yet, but you can check them out on Instagram at Soul Cuisine, SOL Cuisine on Instagram. Mr. Dror Balshine, thank you. You can't see me, but you can hear us. We are so thrilled. Thank you for your time, and we'll let you get back to what you do best, leading your team to success. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Justin. It was great to meet you. Bye, Sandra. Bye, Mike. Bye, Shawna.